Hello, 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 Corrie Thorne, the spiritual healer, coming in to do a channeled message. I'm going to have two messages that'll be posted back to back on YouTube today. Um, so first of all, please remember this does not replace any medical, psychological. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not any of those things in the world. These are things that I channel through. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm wrong. I don't know. So there is a lot of energy that's coming up for me today to be very, very aware of. I'll pause there. So I do not edit these videos. So they come out as they are, but please remember that this information, as I was just saying, really truly is just what comes through from the channel. It doesn't mean that it's even my personal opinion, is what the channel tells me, is what the energy tells me. So I can tell you that I have the amazing Mary Magdalene energy. I have my Palladian energy in today. I have a real blend here of what is happening. And so this morning when I woke up, I woke up at like, it was 4:22 when I woke up, and it was like large as life. And it was almost as if I had this need to run outside. And right before I went to bed last night, I had to run outside. And when I ran outside last night, I looked up in the sky behind my house through the back, and there was like a triangle of these planets that I could see, and they were like flickering. And so I just like, in the eye of the beholder is what came to me. In the eye of the beholder, we are whole. And so, in the eye of the beholder, we are whole. In our human world, in our human essence, we are not. And we have a real disconnect with the sense of wanting to be God in all forms. So, sorry, I had to kick a ball to the dog. And so, we have this form of wanting to be whole, wanting to be complete, and this sense of judgment. And Mary Magdalene came through with this big message of judgment. When I woke up at 4:22, I was told to go outside. Um, the same way that I was last night with the triangle. So as I went out, I don't know why my camera all of a sudden is gone blurry, but we have a blurry camera happening. That's weird. Can't edit this. So it's going to be what it is. Hmm, interesting. Try and get it to come there. Sometimes got to get to refocus. So also, so when I woke up when I was awakened at 4:22 this morning, I heard go back outside. I went out and I stood outside, and I just felt the need to put my hands like go, I am the universe, and to allow this healing. And I know when I perform healing sessions on people, when I perform Reiki or any of my spiritual healings on people, is that I do this more this this ritual that I do for me, and I'm just like, I'm so thankful that I'm just such part of this universe. Like it's such a magnificent experience as a spirit to be human. And so I was, and the vulnerability that comes with being human. And so as I stood there, I had this image of us rushing to get dressed. And I could see, and it was just like, get your partner to put on that new pink shirt, like that new pink shirt you bought him. Get him to wear that new pink shirt. Tell him to get dressed. Hurry up. We have to get dressed up. There is something coming for us. Hurry up, get dressed. We're going to be almost like we're going to be picked up. Like something is coming to pick me up. And that's what it felt like to me. Like somebody is coming to take me, and I don't mean take me in a UFO, I mean take me into a new reality, a new life. And so what we're doing, what they were telling me is preparation. And through our bodies, there's preparation. So back to Mary Magdalene and what Mary Magdalene has for us. And what Mary Magdalene is telling us is that look how the judgment was placed. Look where they placed that judgment. Look where, they decided that, we're this kind of people or that kind of people. And look what judgment has done. Look what that critical, that fear-based thinking has caused. And she was this amazing spiritual healer who walked beside Jesus. And she spread the messages of love and transformation and the importance of transformation. So when this message started to come to me a few days ago, I actually recorded one a few days ago and it had no sound. So I knew it was only a message for me. And a lot of these messages lately that I have are only for me because there's enough fear in the world. No one else needs to know these fear things right now because it's not going to change anything because no one's listening. And I was just standing up to my kitchen and I heard, it's just like you're just like, hello, is there anybody out there? Nobody is listening. It's like we're being pushed and squished out. And so I found myself as I didn't want to even record this one. I heard you need to record this one because this one is affecting us. And so what Mary Magdalene is telling me as a healer like me, who does healing work, like she did healing work, just like Jesus did healing work. I'm not Jesus. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say I'm Jesus by any means. I am a vessel. I allow the healing energy to flow through me. And so what she was telling me is the essence that we are working on such a deep, deep cellular level and such a deep level within the human body. If you're feeling like you ran a marathon, you're feeling like you got ran over by a truck, like you're just feeling like your body's like poof, there, that's what's happening. So with my students in my level 4, we did a what I call some of my spiritual healing work on them the other day. And so when we did that work, I didn't know why. And it was actually the energy of Mary Magdalene and those who were the ascendants of the Palladian energies that tell us about unconditional love and about being able to love unconditionally. And that unconditionally is that we have to become an observer and we have to become observant of our own actions and our own behavior because we are affecting everything right now. We are the tornadoes, we're the storms, we're the everything. And I've been reporting in my lives and in my videos that there is a lot of like storms. And I kept seeing from last February when all of this started, I recorded a whole lot of channel messages about something very catastrophic was hitting. I recorded about a war. I recorded about I recorded about there being a major, major flood. And every one of the lives that I did, I kept reporting on being like this flood coming through and being high enough up that you're not trying to hang out on the banks, hang out on the shores, like you get high enough. And whether or not that was symbolic, whether or not that is real, I never know. And I don't really go ask. It really doesn't matter. Not it, well, it matters, but I can't change it. It's not going to change what's going to happen. And only those who want to listen will listen. So, and I also spoke about, I spoke very much and very loud about the protesting and about all of those things and about what happens when somebody dies and what happens when something goes wrong and somebody else, like your behavior, and when you calm down and when everyone settles down, when everyone stops being their own tornado, what happens when you look at the collateral damage left behind to get what you wanted. So when you say we created this beautiful heavenly little world, but you didn't, because now you still have to live within your body everything that you had been screaming and yelling about. So if you're not allowing yourself to come home to inner peace right now, which was in my live on Facebook and on here yesterday, um, which was Saturday the 20th. So for the spring equinox, I talked about coming back into you. And it's so important right now to come back home into you. So as this Mary Magdalene energy is telling me that we have a lot of healing to do, we have a lot of healing that is taking place right now. We need people to connect back into here, to plug back into self, to start self-regulating, start, thinking for yourselves again, to be very much in your own thought process of what is of the highest good for myself, what is not in the, to shut off the fear stories. And I do believe that there was some like electric outings or something is what it feels like to me. I don't know where, I don't know how, but I really get like in the past couple days some really like static energy. I don't think those electrical charges are done with us yet. I think there is some more blackouts to come, and it just feels like we're blacking out. It's like we're trying to avoid the last stage. We're almost, we get so close to the end, but we're trying to black out. We're trying to avoid this now. Let's just pretend like we just skipped it. And it's like if you skip it, if you use like a time machine energy. So if you do anything that takes you away from this present moment of healing, if you try to skip it, try to jump away from it, and you do not do the healing work, allow yourself to have the power of right here, right now to get you through, then if you're skipping it, then this is going to come back to you in 5 to 10 years. You're going to be, so yeah, 5 to 10 years, you're going to be feeling this again. We are in a power of a 7 right now. I am hearing the 7th trumpet is going off. I'm hearing like this major, the seventh major, whatever that means, major 7, major 7, whatever that means, something in a music note I'm seeing, and I'm like a high vibrating frequency. And it's like we can hear it through the air. If you have a very sensitive hearing like I do, you can hear it through the air. I can hear something whispering. You can see the angelic in energy in the air right now. You can see it in the clouds. You can see it in windows. If you look in the windows, you can see the Pleiadians love to come in pixels. Angels come in pixels. Often you see angelic realms like ascendant masters and those things in that in those realms. You will often see Palladians in windows. It's like if you take pictures of windows, you'll often see that Palladian energy somewhere where there can be a reflection besides your human mirror. If you're taking a picture directly into the human mirror, chances are all you're getting is an Instagram picture. And that's the truth. You're just getting an Instagram picture. And you can't be looking for this. It's finding something that just catches your attention. I have tons of pictures of old churches that I've been taken on a journey to every single crossroad that I could find in this northern Alberta where they led me down dirt roads where no one goes, only the people who live there. And I have found these churches and I found these things that, are just leave me in awe of the magnitude of what we were able to build and create all the way back then and how it can sustain itself, how those buildings have such strong foundations. The basements are not cracked, they're still usable. And right now, everything that we're building, because we're in a big rush and a big crunch, including our human self, and we're trying to fast track everything, it is crumbling as fast as it is being built. We are not paying attention to how fast things are crumbling. There is a major, major shift happening. And when things start, when if we don't build it strong enough to withstand the storms, they will crumble. It's like that big mad rush to get up all these houses, put them all next together, bang them all together. Who cares? Use the cheap products in the basement. It doesn't matter. They're crumbling. And we're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to see because we are fast tracking, including our own spiritual journeys. You're seeing people like all of a sudden you go from being an everyday person who has no training, no nothing. You just awaken, you wake up and you think that you're here now to be the guru. And if you believe you're here to be the guru and you got all the wisdom in the world after you've been doing this for 1 year, or you took a couple psychedelics and you've got this picture in your head, well, there's a whole lot of spiritual and emotional maturity that has been skipped because of this fast tracking. For since beginning of time, we take these little children and we fast track them into adults. Okay, you're strong, you're hardy, you should go to war because you're the perfect fit for war. You can be a soldier, you can run, you can hide, like you can do all of these things, but you're not emotionally and mentally, you're not prepared for that. That's not how the brain is designed. And so that fear and flight, well, that started years ago, and that then raised that energy, then became what looked like an adult, and then raised children. So it's like this alien energy inside of these bodies that walked around like adults, that look like adults. Well, we've been fast tracking this for so long, and we have to slow this down. We have to bring this back home. We have to get freaking real with the fact that children don't need to be scared about about everyday things. Children don't need to be on social media and on those places learning about how awful an adult is because an adult is doing this to the world and doing that. That's your story, and that's the immaturity. That's the immaturity that we are treating children like they are the adults, and we are causing a lot of more fear. And so this is the energy Mary Magdalene is telling me. It's like, you got to slow this down. It's in our hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. It's such a truth. And that we have this world and we're holding this, but we're not so in control as what we think we are. We are trying to fast track. We're trying to become God. We have all of this healing that needs to be done. But the reason why we are stuck here in this pandemic again is because we didn't do the work that needed to be done. And it's important now that we take that journey, that we start this, bring it home, come back to here, centered, crossroads, right? We're at a crossroads. We're at a pivotal point right now. And what I'm being told by that Palladian, and I see this amazing crystally blue, and I'm being told if we can stop and pause right here, we're in this teeter-tottery energy, and with the 0 degree, and we're just coming out of that 0 degree. If we're, it's that wholeness. And so if we can shift that we can shift that energy and, just teeter to each side, like be willing to look at everything, to gain those new perspectives, that there is some crystal clear energy. They are observing us from a crystal clear view, and we are like ice. And it's like, it's like that strong ice, but even ice melts. Everything is vulnerable. Everything has an expiry date. Everything has its time. And you fast tracking is not going to get you there any faster, because the foundations are too weak. And we have to do the foundation work. We have to do it on the human level. We have to get back to thinking in this logical self. They give us some human brain so that we could use this to think, is this really serving our highest good? We have to slow it, because what we're doing is we are contributing to more of the problem, and we cannot become the solution in the problem. And so how we end up so stuck in those problems is that the reason why it is a problem is because we're not getting what we want. That's why it becomes a problem. Oh, it's such a problem because it's a problem because you're not getting what you want. It's because the solution is in what we need, not what we want. And it's time for us to bring it down, bring it home, and come back to here. And when we do, I'm telling you what's happening within us right now for those who are staying more quiet, more grounded, staying right here, is that you're feeling and sensing that energy of what is trying to help us, what is trying to bring us back, trying to root us and ground us in the truth of our own awareness that, we are not in the dangers, we're not in those things that as bad as what we think we are. We were fine before. Death has always been there. We're always going to have it. And the only thing that changed was that they announced this big fear into the world. They placed fear upon us. And not saying the conditions are not real, because it is very real now, but the fear story, trying to bring everyone home. And by bringing everyone home, bring it back to family values and morals of what matters inside of your house, what matters for you and your family, not what matters as that wholeness. Because once we can get back to that unconditional love for thy neighbor, then and for our own, calm our own families down, and then be able to reconnect. We will reconnect. We will have different views, we'll have different thoughts, but our bodies are healing. We've been to war. I just feel like the storms will come. We are not over the shit. Just because spring came, your life didn't change. Your life didn't change if you didn't make changes in you. And that's the truth. And so there's a lot of healing energy that still has to take place, that still needs to be done, but it depends on how we are going to react and respond in these times. There's still some wars, and there's still some storms. And I see a major, major flood, storm, a tornado energy all morning. But I just feel like we're being called home again. We're being called back and to get dressed, get prepared, get dressed up, get dressed every day as if you are about to, you know, really truly be ready to go to something to celebrate. And that celebrate each and every day that you have in this very now, and make this now, this moment, the most important moments. Let's say that is exactly what we need to start doing. Not the moment of, oh my God, if you don't have your mask on, you might not be here. Make it a celebration. Make it a celebration that you're celebrating today. We are still here. So you have this beautiful human experience, and that's what you're here for. So on a deep cellular level, we are being spiritually and emotionally schooled in maturity and getting crystal, crystal clear. Much, much love. Have a beautiful week. I will see you soon. Bye.